Birmingham City looking like they might do some transfer business. Welcome to This Week at Blues. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to This Week at Blues. I am, of course, your host, Joe Hall. My links are down below in the description, as always. Now, we actually do have some news to open this episode about This Week in Blues. That is right, the format will be changing. Well, I say the format, more so the schedule will be changing. It used to be that I would record on a Friday and upload on a Saturday. Now, the powers that be and I have had a conversation and we figured it works best for me to record on a Saturday and upload on a Sunday. So that's what's happening now. Now, granted, I know what you're thinking. Wait, he's probably going to talk about the Wigan match and whatever's happened. Unfortunately not. Although it is a Saturday, I'm recording this Saturday morning because I am, in fact, very busy during the day. So whatever happened during the Wigan match will be talked about next week, unfortunately. I know, I'm sorry, I apologise, but we've already got 2 Blues matches to talk about from last week, so I think that should be enough. And speaking of which, that is our first story. That is right, we have to talk about the past 2 Blues matches. Obviously, our 1-0 defeat to Cardiff City and our 1-1 draw against Watford. Our last Saturday, we did have the 1-0 defeat to Cardiff City, which it wasn't ideal. I think any Blues fan can see that it wasn't an ideal result. No one wants to lose to Cardiff, so it is what it is. But again, like I said, we played Watford on the Tuesday and proved that we can bounce back, and we got a 1-1 draw against Watford, which is a very good result. Look, I will take that result any day of the week. My only concern does come with the Cardiff result. I think, in that match, we really were not at our best. So to lose 1-0, it's a bit poor. And we can't have too many results like that because, as a club, we do want to improve. So, yeah, I'd hope that performances like that are few and far between and we have more performances like we did against Watford. Now, in the Watford match, obviously, your Blues scorer was J03 Hall. Phenomenal talent. I mean, it's just something about people with the last name Hall tend to be great people. But, yeah, what a goal it was. I say what a goal. It wasn't a hard goal to score, but to stay composed in that situation, you've had the ball sent across goal to slide it in the back of the net. It takes composure, and he showed that. There's a reason why J03 Hall is being scouted by Premier League clubs. There's a reason why J03 Hall, how old is he? 17, 18, maybe 16? I don't think he's 16. I think he's 17, 18. At 17, 18, he's seeing first team action. Look at him, you can see the ability in him. Now, coming in with our second story, we actually have transfer news. Every week, I feel like I'm saying, I wish we had some more transfer news. I wish we had some more transfer news. Well, we do, and we've got a decent amount. First off, we have to talk about it. Ryan Woods has joined Hull City on a permanent transfer. Now, I don't know how Blues fans are going to feel about this. Me, personally, I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong, nothing against Ryan Woods personally, but the way I will always word it with Ryan Woods is the fact he's a professional footballer will still give me hope. No, in all seriousness, he was a squad player. I don't think it's a massive issue that we've lost him. Obviously, our midfield is a bit sparse now, but I think we'll fill it. We've got the quality in our youth to fill it, and I think personally, I'd prefer to see an under-23 get called up to the first team and fill that role rather than have Ryan Woods there. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, you lot might disagree or you might agree. That's the joys of an opinion. Everyone's got one. And speaking of which, let me know what yours is down in the comments. Now, coming in with our second bit of transfer news, it is about the man we talked about earlier, the only scorer for Blues in the Blues versus Watford match, J03 Hall. Leeds United have reportedly offered Birmingham City £3 million for J03 Hall, which Blues have rejected, thank God. If I'm honest, £3 million seems a bit insulting. When you look at Jude Bellingham, per se, who sold for 25 to 35 million or somewhere around that region, at a similar age to J03 Hall, and J03 Hall's only getting offers of 3 million. It don't seem right to me. J03 Hall is a phenomenal footballer, and I think, in my opinion, it's hard because obviously I am going to be biased. I think we all can attest to the fact we're going to be biased when it comes to one of our own. I'd value him about 10 million to Blues. with what he is and where he can go, I think 10 million would be a perfectly fair price. Now, if Leeds United don't want to make that offer, that's on them, but I don't think Blues are going to mind keeping George Hall for another season anyway. Realistically, we don't need to sell him right now. He could stay another season, get some first team starting game action in the championship, a hard league, and then move on if that's what he wanted. But personally, I think Blues would be mental to accept anywhere near 3 million for George Hall. Now, with our third bit of transfer news, it's going back to a bit of transfer news we heard a few weeks ago, and that is about the Manchester United youngster Hannibal Mayberry. I think that's how you pronounce it. Mayberry or Mayberry, or I'm not one for names, as you'll find out soon as well. But yeah, Blues are currently in advanced talks, so I'm happy to see this. I think Hannibal Mayberry, or pronounce it Mayberry, is, he's a good youngster, evidently. Who'd he square up against? The Villa player he squared up against. He's got a hate for Villa, so we take him. I think he just adds another option in the attacking midfielder role, and in an already sparse midfield, bringing in another midfielder, it's not going to do any harm, is it? So we take Mayberry. Probably slots right into the starting 11. He looks set to join, but we'll see how the negotiations go. Now, with our final bit of transfer news, Blues have opened talks with, and this is what I meant when I said I'm not good with names. Hold on, let me read this. Nwankwo Sime, I think. We've opened talks with him basically to try and sign him. I'm going to be honest, I really don't know too much about him. From what I've heard, he's got connections to Maxi Lopez. They played together in 2019-20 season, apparently. And apparently in the 2020-21 season, he scored 20 goals in Serie A. How true that is, I don't know. Like I said, this news is literally, it couldn't be any fresher, so I haven't had exactly a lot of time to do research on him. The research I've done is what I've just given out. Overall, from what I'm hearing, it's going to be a good signing, and I think we need more striker options. I've been saying we need a striker. I've also been saying that a video about a striker I want us to get is going to be coming out, and it still hasn't came out. But the striker I wanted Blues to sign, it definitely wasn't Nwankwo Sime. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I'm almost definitely not, though. Deeney and Hogan, with how often we have matches in the championship, the Saturday matches and the Tuesday matches, they are going to struggle to keep up their fitness. And unfortunately, when it comes to Lukas Jutkovic, he's at the point in his career when realistically he shouldn't be playing more than 20 or 30 minutes a match. So he's just not a starting option anymore. And with Leko, I think most Blues fans will agree with me when I say Leko just hasn't worked out at Blues. Okay, he did score in the League Cup match against Norwich, but we can't ignore the fact last season in League One, he only scored 2 goals. And I think the season before that at Blues, he didn't even get 1. So Leko he isn't good enough. So I think adding another attacker into the mix can only be a good thing for this team. But that is going to about wrap things up for this week at Blues. Episode 3 we're now on. We've made it 3 weeks. I don't know how, I haven't been axed yet, but we're still here. As always, if you want to get involved in the conversation and talk to me about any of the stories I've spoken about today, my socials and the Blues Focus socials are over there, and there is the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to Blues Focus. But for this week at Blues, that's wrapped up.